Thanks very much. Thanks very much, everyone. Give it up for Mary Rita Holland, our fantastic candidate here in Kingston, the Islands. Talk about strong. Talk about ready. Talk about working for you. That's Mary Rita Holland. And that's our campaign theme, because that's what the people of Ontario deserve. Instead of a premier who works for his buddies, it's time for a premier who works for you. And I'm thrilled to be here with Mary Rita Holland here in Kingston in the Islands to once again show the people of these communities that they can have representation that is prioritizing the things that matter most to them. And that's what we've been talking about, as Mary Rita said. The campaign is going very, very well. We're all very excited about what's happening out there in Ontario, because Mary Rita's right. People have identified through the pandemic, of course before the pandemic, when Doug Ford's cuts started, the minute he got elected, Conservative cuts hurt people. And then we have a pandemic on top of the Conservative cuts, and things that were bad already. Once Doug Ford took office, we were left with a healthcare system that was on its knees. And let's not forget about hallway medicine that we got thanks to the Liberals, the gas plant scandal, the sell-off of Hydro One. Those things were terrible, which is why the Liberals were ushered out. But of course, now we've had the cuts, a premier that cuts even during a pandemic. There's something wrong with that. But also, we've had the pandemic, and it really did show all of the things that are broken in Ontario. And so our job now is to give people hope that we can actually fix the things that matter to them. And that's what this is all about. And Mary Rita touched on some of those things. And one of the things that we also found out during the pandemic is that we really do believe in caring for each other and taking care of each other. That's one of the values that most of us, the vast, vast majority of Ontarians and Canadians, showed. Right? That trait was shown during the pandemic. But we also saw our seniors' care system was shameful. It has been shameful for a long time. But what happened during COVID-19, we can never not remember. We can never not remember what seniors have been through. And so we're going to fix home care and seniors care. We're going to get the profits out and the care back in. And of course, mental health, and I can't tell you every single day, somebody is telling me a story about mental health. They're sharing their mental health concerns with me. It's happened twice today, not just once, twice. It's a huge concern here in Ontario, and of course, COVID also unveiled some of the problems that we have in Ontario, because we really don't have a mental health care system at all. Like, if you have enough money in your pocket, or you happen to be somebody that's been, working their way up the wait list, 2.5-year wait list for youth for mental health care. What's that all about? 10 years of Liberals freezing supports for mental health supports for kids. That's what you get. So, mental health care covered by OHIP. So you get your services with your OHIP card, not your credit card, and expansion of services so everybody can get the care they need where and when they need it. And for kids particularly, because we saw the chaos. We saw what happened in education during the pandemic, how kids were impacted. We have a guarantee that no young person will wait more than 30 days for an appointment to deal with a mental health issue that they're struggling with. And so it's mental health care, it's dental care, it's prescription drugs, it's making sure we have a $20 minimum wage in Ontario, good jobs that pay the bills. tackling the crisis in affordability of housing, whether that's rental housing, whether that's home ownership for first-time home buyers. We have a plan for all of these things. We can fix the hospitals, clear the backlog, bring nurses back into the profession, hire 20,000 more nurses, PSWs, get those internationally trained nurses and doctors working for us, which is what they want to do here in Ontario. And we can do that. This is an issue that has been ongoing for decades in our province. You know, there's a doctor that was trained in Bangladesh. She's in Fort Erie, Ontario, across the border from Buffalo, and she cannot get accredited to be a doctor in our province. Every day she crosses the border to Buffalo, where she's accredited as a physician, and she works in Buffalo. There's something seriously wrong here in Ontario, and we have a plan to fix that too. And of course, we all know that the climate crisis is the existential issue that we are all grappling with. And I can tell you, when Doug Ford decided to have a hissy fit and pull the electric vehicle charging stations out of the ground the minute he got elected, we all knew that this was a premier that had no interest in doing the right thing and getting greenhouse gas emissions down in our province and making sure we get to a net zero by 2050. That's our plan. Cut the emissions in half by 2030, bring a complete EV strategy to Ontario, including incentives to purchase vehicles, and make sure that we are retrofitting thousands, hundreds of thousands of spaces of housing, of public buildings. We're electrifying transit systems. We're going to be creating hundreds of thousands of jobs, bringing back a cap-and-trade system, using some of those revenues to help support the most vulnerable amongst us that will be impacted by the climate change that we're experiencing. These are things that governments with vision, with understanding, with values around the environment are prepared to do, and that's what a new Democratic Party government will be doing. And on top of that, creating hundreds of thousands of jobs as part of that plan. You just can't go wrong. It's the right thing to do. It creates jobs, it supports people, and it fights that crisis that we have, the climate emergency that we have right now in front of us. So I could go on. We have quite a lovely platform that takes care of a lot of the things that we as New Democrats value. But I am gonna stop talking because I'm getting a little thirsty and there's a lot of beer around here. But I do want to close with this. I want to say thank you to Mary Rita for being such a strong candidate, for you know, all the work she's done as the president of the party, the work she's done on your city council. She's an amazing woman, and we all know it. And so thank you for supporting her, and thank you, Mary Rita, for the great work that you do. But we know that we can't do the work that we do without all of you. And so I just want to say thank you so much, all of you, for the support you're giving to Mary Rita, the support that you're giving to the party, the young people that are pushing forward in post-secondary institutions like Queen's to make sure young people know that with an NDP government, you can have hope that the things that matter most to you will be fixed, that we can fix the things that matter most to you and your families. That's what we're all about. That's what Ontarians need, is that hope, and you're going to get that hope with the NDP, because we can fix those things. We can work together, we can come together, and we can fix the things that matter most. So thanks everybody for being here. Enjoy the evening. Really glad to be here in Kingston.